This is kingdom view of relationship and marriage. Why would you video your sexual act? Why would you video the sexual act of you and your husband? It won't help you. A lot of funny things are happening. You and your husband, you are in the room doing something secretive and you are still videoing the act. For what? You want to show your children or you want to send it online? Certain things are not even, they don't want it. It won't help you. It will only render you helpless. What if your children or visitor gets to see that recording accidentally? Do you think that will bring honor to you? The marriage bed should be honored and consecrated. I've been to a particular family before that, checking the laptop. I saw a lot of sexual videos there. Well, though that's not the video of the husband and the wife, but other people, other people's sexual videos. I saw it there. I begin to wonder. And the children will see this on the laptop. What kind of, you know, what kind of spirit would they invite to their children? You don't need to watch sexual videos to help yourself. Are you there? There are certain families, what they do is they watch sexual videos after washing to a point, then they now begin to have sex. That thing you are doing, you are inviting a demon. The kind of child you will give birth to, you will not even imagine it. Because what inspired that sexual action is not God, it's immorality. So you discover you just give birth to children that will be addicted to immoral things. Let's be careful. If what you want to educate your children, okay, if you want to educate your children about sex, please don't hide anything. Just tell them everything they need to know. What we teach our young ones is what they will grow up knowing. I have been in an environment where the word penis is referred to as kokoro. Some people even call penis pencil. They say, hey, your pencil, your hey, tell them the real thing, and they will know the right thing. The reason our people are not knowing the right thing, the reason they are not learning the right thing, is because we are not telling them the real thing. How will you call penis kokoro? How will you call penis pencil? Call it the name and teach them so that they will know how to handle certain things. The Lord will help us. There is a difference between a godly person and a goodly person. A goodly person looks good on the outside and may not necessarily be good on the inside, while a godly person is good both inside and outside. You can see that in 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 2. So who you need as a partner is not just a goodly person, someone that looks good, but a godly person. If all you do in love is to keep falling, then you are not matured. Don't fall in love, but grow in love. Don't fall in love, grow in love. Love is not a stumbling block that should make you fall. So you are expected to grow in love. Every time God chooses for you, it is always too big for you because God knows you more than yourself. You may think you are cheap, but to God, you are expensive. So that's why sometimes when God gives you certain choices, you begin to wonder, me? That's God for you. But you take patience to get the best of God. Your friendship period is a pointer period. Don't be too blind that you won't see what God is showing you from your friendship. If they can't move with you, then you should have seen that from the friendship period. Don't be blind with love. Open your eyes and see. In marriage, it takes proper understanding through God's grace to keep looking at your spouse without getting tired of them. Imagine you have been seeing a particular face sleeping together with a particular person for so many years without being tired of them. There is something about relationship that only God can reveal. Absolute togetherness is God's strength in your marriage. You are renewed daily by His grace in your marriage. So, you can't fade away when the grace of God is available. You can't fade away. God's will for you in marriage is not defined by titles. God's will are not the people you see around, but the people you see around can become God's will. God's will is not a pastor, but a pastor can become God's will. Stop running after every leader that you see. Stop giving yourself cheaply to them. The will of God for you is the gift of God's best to you. The key to knowing God's will is the fear of God. If they don't fear God, then they can't be for you. If you think you have the best spouse today, you will still see other people's spouses who seem to be far more better than yours. If your partner is not educated, the day you will see other people whose partner are educated, you may be moved. At that stage in a relationship, the only thing that will help you out is your commitment to each other. So, at some point, we may see some people who have certain unique features that our partner do not have, but we must be committed to each other. It's our commitment that will now keep us going, even when we see others who have certain physical qualities that our partner do not have. Marriage is commitment. Don't go into a relationship if you won't be committed to it. We need to understand that. No marriage is an already made. There's no marriage that is already made. It is you that will make it ready. You must be willing to push through so that you can break through. You must be willing to push through so that you can break through. Know your calling before knowing your spouse. It's very important. Know your calling before knowing your spouse. Marriage is about, marriage is not about denomination. It is about Christ. Marry in the Lord, not necessarily marry in your denomination. To marry in the Lord is to marry a Christian. He or she may not be from your denomination, but the fact remains that it doesn't disprove, no, the fact remains that you are marrying in the Lord. Your denomination is not the only structure where Christians can be found. There are, you know, there are other Christians in other ministries too. Anyone who says you must marry from a particular denomination is trying to mislead you. The instructions of God is marry in the Lord, not necessarily marry in the denomination. Are you getting it? It's important we note that your friend married a doctor and is happy or she's happy does not mean you also must marry a doctor to be happy. Don't start hunting for doctors or a particular occupation just because your friend married them and he or she finds happiness. You are not the same with your friend. Friendship is not equality. You are not friends because you are exactly the same. As a matter of fact, no two people are exactly the same. Marriage is not by profession. Don't bring job specialization into it. Marriage is a universal set, and every organization is a subset of marriage. The intersection between two marriages must be genuine love, while their union must be Christ. Even when a marriage appears to be an empty set, God is still God. Irrespective, irrespective of marriage cardinality, you are expected to still continue in agreement. This is a mathematical analysis of marriage. Let me come again with the mathematical analysis of marriage. Now, marriage is a universal set, and every organization is a subset of marriage. The intersection between two marriages, the intersection between two married people must be genuine love, while their union must be Christ. Even when a marriage appears to be an empty set, God is still God. Irrespective of marriage cardinality, you are expected to still continue in agreement. This is the mathematical analysis for marriage. Marriage is not the coming together of two halves to make one. No, it is the coming together of two complete beings to become perfect. So in marriage is not 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2. No, marriage is 1 plus 1 to give 1. Pregnancy is not a gift, it is a reward. You can't be pregnant without having sex. So being pregnant is a reward for having sex. It is not, please marry me. It should be, will you marry me? Proposal is not a means of begging or persuading others in order to get a positive reply. Make your request polite and wait for your answer patiently. No matter how deeply in love you may be, please don't build your marriage on begging. It won't last. You are not a beggar, so don't work with the beggar's mentality. Any marriage that is built on begging will be sustained by begging. So even when you are married, you say, "There, please, let's do this." Why? Because initially the marriage was built on begging. So any marriage that is built on begging will be sustained and maintained by begging. So don't add begging to the foundation of your marriage. Otherwise, you won't enjoy it. Be real and be polite. Even when beauty fails in marriage, a good character can still keep the marriage ball rolling. Beauty can fail, but if you have a good character, of course your marriage will survive. Anyone anyone whose love cannot be displayed in the open is not genuine. Fake love cannot survive exposure. Fake love cannot survive exposure. When people whom you love dearly turns you down, please don't harm yourself. Just encourage yourself and move on. If you don't go away, you may not find a way. If you don't go away, you may not find a way. If you don't move on, you may not move out. Are you there? So when people whom you love dearly turns down, when they turn their back at you, don't harm yourself. Just encourage yourself and move on. Because if you don't go away, you may not find a way. And if you don't move on, you may not move out. So take note of that. If you truly value your marital relationship, then you must be prepared to lose. Don't prepare to win every argument between you and your partner. Even when you have points, sometimes you will need to decide to lose in order to win your relationship. Be a loser if you want to end up a winner in your relationship. Argument continues as long as no one is ready to submit. You must understand that in relationship and marriage, sometimes we lose to win, and sometimes we win to lose. So you must understand. So when I say you must be prepared to lose in relationship or in marriage, I'm not saying you should be a loser. What I'm saying is that losing, you are losing to win. That's how to say it. You must understand that principle. Sometimes you may not win your marriage if you are not ready to lose certain things. Now, since God was satisfied in Jesus and Jesus was equally satisfied in God, this teaches us a great lesson about marriage. Let's follow this pattern. The husband is expected to be satisfied in his wife, the same way the wife should also be satisfied in her husband. That's the format. It's important to note that you don't need an helper if you are not going anywhere. Why seeing who to marry when you have not even seen your vision? You cannot see a vision, but yet you can see who to marry. What kind of sight is that? Why seeing who to marry when you haven't discovered your ministry, when you have not discovered your purpose? Don't bring don't bring innocent people into your confusion. Marriage is not for confused people. You must understand that. Marriage have not failed because the founder God cannot fail. Are you there? The reason marriage have not totally been eradicated, even when we have a lot of crises in it, a lot of mismatching and things like that, is because the founder cannot fail, which is God. So it means if you stay with the founder to help you build your marriage also will not fail. If your marriage fails, then your knowledge about it is small. Just the same way the Bible says, he that faileth in the time of adversity have a little strength. The same way, when your marriage fails, is a sign that you have a little knowledge of it. Stop trying to marry people who have made up their mind never to end up with you. Otherwise, you won't stop wishing. You went to them, they say, I can never marry you, and you are still insisting as if they are the only one in the universe. I think you need to pray again and hear God. Don't let anybody frustrate you. Your life is important to God. Many are into a relationship unknowingly because they kept on assuming things that should not be assumed. So because the brother is nice to me now, it means we are in a relationship together. Because the sister is usually nice to me, it means I'm in a relationship with her. That's not true. Don't marry what you cannot manage. Don't marry what you cannot manage. To survive and maintain a godly relationship, you must learn how to tell yourself the truth. The best period to prepare for marriage is when you are single. You must understand that. So, to survive and maintain a godly relationship, to survive and maintain a godly relationship, you must tell yourself the truth. Singlehood is not meant to last forever. Don't be too fast to end it before the right time. Is a period, the period of your, of being single is a period to build yourself, work on yourself to look like, the will of God you are expecting. If you know you are not going to pray about his marriage proposal, just reply no and let him have your conclusion immediately. Stop postponing what shouldn't be. A brother will come to a sister these days, then the sister will say, okay, give me some time, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, I'm still praying. Is it a master's degree? If you know it is a no, just give him a no immediately and let him settle his mind for another person. Stop trying to be carnal, trying to make a brother wait, in case, so that if your current relationship fails, you can just jump on that brother. That's carnality. And this is common to some sisters, even some so-called Christian sisters. Please don't be carnal. A godly marriage is by faith, because even if your courtship period is long, it doesn't, it doesn't mean that you have known everything about them. Don't choose to be a mother when you have not properly been made a wife. Don't choose to be a mother when you have not properly been made a wife. Before you become a mother, please be a wife first. Because if you become a mother before you before becoming if you ever become a mother before becoming a wife, it means you have jumped a process. I prefer to have a no for an answer from a Christian than to have a quick yes from an unbeliever. May I never marry the only available ones. Are you there? May I never marry if the only available ones are ungodly people. I love unbelievers, but I can't marry them. Can you see that? We are to show, people that are ungodly, show them love, but they are not your marriage match. They don't fit you. Are you there? Don't just say, well, since there are not Christian people available, let me just marry this one. We'll try to change him. We'll try to change her. You will kill yourself. It's better to wait for long to marry the will of God than to say no to waiting and just marry anybody that's available. Love is not bad because your experience about it was bad. Don't keep painting the wrong picture of love just because of the bitter experience you have had about it. That you marry the wrong person does not mean that everybody is wrong. Don't judge the future of others by your own bad past. We have to be careful of that. Some people they talk bad about marriage because they married the wrong person. No, it's wrong. Don't discourage people. Encourage them. For the fact that there's an issue in your marriage does not mean everybody will have issue with their marriage. I pray the Lord will help us in Jesus' name.